Hi there, welcome to a new episode of our podcast. It's about the demands in Nepal of generational change, accountability, and political will. And the context for today is a historic new development in the Nepali Congress. The Gen Z protests in September 2025 challenged Nepal's traditional political order by accelerating fractures within old party structures. The dispute in the Nepali Congress now and the rise of new coalitions reflect a broader demand for these changes. How these trends will shape the upcoming elections in March 2026 remains one of the critical questions facing the country right now. Three realities stand out. First, despite strong Gen Z momentum, deep reform within traditional parties continues to face resistance, and older leaders still retain significant influence. Second, new alliances have formed around popular figures outside traditional power centers. Third, the 2026 elections will be held in a highly volatile environment, marked by party realignments, emerging coalitions, and sustained youth pressure for systemic change. Now, what is the political tensions within the Nepali Congress? One of the clearest aftershocks of the Gen Z movement has been intense internal conflict within the Nepali Congress. During the protest, party president Sher Bahadur Deuba and his wife were attacked at their residence, an incident that became a powerful symbol of public anger and sparked widespread debate. Media reports showing burnt bundles of Nepali currency and foreign currency at the residence further fueled public outrage. Then the party soon divided into two camps, a reform faction and a status quo faction. On the reform faction side, led by Gagan Kumar Thapa and Vishwaprakash Sharma, called for a leadership renewal and internal reform. By the way, Gagan Thapa's house was also attacked and burnt during the protest. On the status quo side, people who are loyal to Deuba and dominated by unpopular old guards are downplaying the protest as anarchy. After the talks collapsed between these two factions, the Reform faction, claiming support from over 50% of party delegates, held a special general convention on January 11 and 12, 2026, without Deuba's participation. The convention unanimously elected Mr. Gagan Thapa as party president, effectively creating two rival claims to the Nepali Congress name, leadership, and election symbol of four stars and a tree. Deuba's faction responded by expelling Thapa and Sharma for 5 years, a move that even some allies reportedly opposed. This has triggered serious legal, constitutional, and electoral questions, particularly concerning party legitimacy, symbols, and candidate lists ahead of this elections. Uh, so, what are the main legal questions surrounding this special convention? The Special General Convention of the Nepali Congress has raised some questions about the legitimacy and authority. Legal experts and party insiders are divided over whether the process complies with the Nepali Congress party statute and broader legal norms. Nepal's constitution requires political parties to have a democratic statute, And the Congress, being the oldest democratic force, has a statute with the possibility of holding convention if the main body of the party, the Central Working Committee in this case, does not do it. Supporters of the convention argue that the Article 17 of the party statute clearly allows a special convention to be called if at least 40% of General Convention delegates formally demand it. And this threshold was exceeded when 54% of delegates submitted signatures in support of this special convention. There are reports about up to 60% of delegates were present in the convention. They further contend that the absence of a regular convention since 2021, December to be precise, more than 4 years after the 14th convention, means that the special convention was justified to ensure the party's vitality and compliance with internal rules. Those who are interested in the statute of the party, to be more specific, it's the Article 17, Section 2. Right? Anyways, such a special convention was only held once in the history of the Nepali Congress Party. That was in the 1950s, which appointed the larger than life founding leader BP Koirala as the president of the party. And in terms of the split, this will be the third split in the Nepali Congress Party, the last one or the second one being caused by Mr. Deuba himself against the leadership of the Girija Prasad Koirala. Anyways, on the other side, the Deuba camp argues that a special convention cannot dissolve or override the existing Central Working Committee elected at the 14th General Convention in 2021, which they maintain remains the party's legitimate leadership until a regular convention is held. They note that the party's statutes mandates that only a regular general convention can amend core leadership positions and argue that the special conventions lack authority to unseat the existing leadership or elect a new one. Critics also point out that there is no authorized body yet to formally validate the delegate count claimed by the special convention organizers, making the basis for legitimacy disputable. Put simply, the Deuba camp tries to find ways to not give any legitimacy to the special conventions and its decisions, especially to unseat Deuba and appoint Gagan Thapa. Now, the legal analysts in Kathmandu suggest that the dispute is likely to be first examined by the Election Commission, which must decide which factions registration and candidate lists to accept for the upcoming elections. Right now, it is not clear, mind you, if the matter should be dealt as a split in the first place, right? But can the election commission decide on that particular matter? It's not very clear. Anyways, should the commission rule against one side, taking it as a split, the matter could move to the Supreme Court anyway, which would interpret both party statute and constitutional principles to decide which group represents the lawful Nepali Congress. Some legal commentaries published in Nepali media argue that the party statute does not explicitly forbid a special convention from electing leadership per se, but that its use in a crisis situation of this nature is unprecedented and subject to judicial scrutiny. The main argument by the special convention organizers being that the mass based party like Nepali Congress, wherever the mass is, the party is there. So in this case, a good majority of the party delegates themselves actually have called to take this step, right? So clearly, they don't even want to frame the whole issue as a split. Rather, the party Nepali Congress clearly resides with them, right? Anyway, this dispute remains ongoing, and its resolution may shape not only the fate of the Nepali Congress but also the future of Nepali politics. And if the party was to split, then to form a new party and fulfill all the due process before this upcoming election, will that even be possible for the Nepali Congress to participate in this election? And in that case, will there be any elections? That's a very important question, critical question, right? So therefore, we'll keep you updated on this one. Thank you for listening. Bye. Have a good day.